Hey, how's it going, guys? Dutchman Games here. Today we have another episode of Maps of Dark Souls, and in this series, I take a look at maps of Dark Souls Remastered, and I also play the game so you can compare uh, what it looks like in game and what the maps look like in the map viewer. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the depths, and this was quite a long journey. The maps of the depths are pretty complex and vague, but I'm very happy that we went through this, and I hope you guys will enjoy this episode. It'll be a long one, but hope you guys will enjoy. And yeah, let's get right into it. So, as you can see in the video, like always, we have the entrance of the depths, which the staircase would be up here. Now, when we go down here, there's some glitching going on in the editor. Don't worry about that. But once we go down here, we'll enter the depths proper. And we'll enter this really big room with some walkways you can fall down to, a whole bunch of undeads here with torches, and down here will be a table with a wonderful lady making us a snack. Now, as you go around here and you continue to walk this way, you'll have this underwater kind of area here, and a little bit of a rubble here you can go down to once you're up here. But if you're up on this angle, you can actually fall down here and land in this side area, and then you can go down here and enter the depths proper, where you are visited by a sludge monster that falls on you if you try to grab that item. And, well, like I said, you'll enter the depths proper in the sewer area. But if we go back a little bit more, we will be able to walk around this path, and it will loop back on itself. You can fall down this hole we were just now, and then you can go this staircase up, and then in this corner right here will be the pyromancer. Pyromancer guy that is a character you can unlock if you destroy him, and destroy his barrel. Don't destroy him. Keep him alive, but save him from there. Now, something interesting about this room is, well, first of all, in the viewer, there's this really big black box here. I don't know why, this little wall. So that made it a little bit difficult to learn to like see what this place was. But as you can see back here, there's this opening, this door that leads down to a pit of corpses, essentially, which I don't know. I think is so grotesque. It's just so interesting because this is literally the chute that he throws the corpses out of, which could only mean that on the table he's actually preparing human meat. But that is something that's widely known in the community. But I just think that's interesting. So yeah, this is a pretty neat little begin area. A little confusing if you just started to walk around here, and then but it's cool. And then we have the proper depths, where if you go in here, you actually start entering the maze of hallways and diseased-ridden, water-infested place. But yeah, so let's continue going down that route. And I am already lost. There we go. So we were here, where the sludge monster falls on you, and then we go this way. Alright, so we are moving forward through this corridor here, and then we enter this long corridor, and everywhere here are going to be those sludge monsters, and there's going to be the sides here that you can see the other sides on downstairs, and then when you walk straight here, you will have a staircase down to the rest of the depths area, and they have a door here which is locked, But using the master key, you can open it, and then you can go in here. Another reason to always bring the master key in your playthrough. And then in here will be the first bonfire, which is very nice. Alright, so as we move from the bonfire down into the actual depths area, this is going to get a little bit complicated. So bear with me, I'm going to try to explain it. But first we need to zoom out a little bit. So where are we in relation to the rest, right? So we have to see this as the main hall of the depths, and then that includes this whole area here. So the main hall, and that's what I'm going to call it, because just for simplicity's sake, is smack that in the middle of the depths, right? It goes from here all the way down to here. So here, where my mouse is right now, entrance to Blighttown. And then from this area, right, so from the sides of this, so these paths will take you up to the boss arena of the Gaping Dragon. So there's one path here that brings you to the 3rd floor. So we got for 0, so 1, 2, 3, 3rd floor. And then we also have the 4th floor, which is where you can get as well, which is also imperative to the boss fight, because there's a channeler up there who's buffing the boss, right? So you have to take that down. But this is the main entrance to the boss arena. But then from up here, there's also an entrance. So there's also an entrance to go up this avenue, and then you'll find your way into the boss. Sorry, my bad. This is the entrance here. So that's what I'm saying. It's super confusing because of all these different loops. Okay, so where were we when I started filming this? We were right here in the main hall of the depths. Now, if we are to continue here, we will. So this is some kind of weird artifact glitch. It doesn't make any sense. This should not be here. But there's a little path here that goes along, and this path basically just has some rats in it. And that's the thing about the depths. All the enemies are pretty easy, but they're annoying, right? You got the cursed, the guys who curse you, the rats. So as you follow this whole looping structure, there's just rats everywhere, and there's this big rat in the middle, and he has your attention because you want to kill him, right? It's very important that you kill him. So you want to be able to get here, but everything is locked. Like all these little entrances are locked. You can't really get in. So you see this rat and you think, okay, how am I going to get there? So there's multiple paths. First, you will walk. So let's really quickly go back to where we were, which was here. So again, we come from the bonfire. We walk down here, down this path, down here, on this corner, down below. We can't continue, so we go into this corridor. And keep in mind, this map is supposed to be confusing, right? It's a maze. So then we go in here, and there's this hole. Now you don't want to fall in this hole, because if you do, you end up like so many levels lower, and there's going to be these enemies who curse you here, and you're going to be so confused because everything looks the exact same except you are in a very different place. So what you want to do is you want to jump over this and then continue that way. But let's say you go the other way, so let's say you go straight, then you end up outside. And here's the channeler, and here are the other enemies, and you can kill all these, and then you will be able to go into this path as well. There's some items here, and this also leads back to the depths. And if you go straight, it will lead all the way back to this area, and then you're back where the giant rat is. So this is one way to get to the giant rat, which you need to be, by the way. You need to be. Okay, but let's say you go to the right here, and then you jump over this hole that we just talked about. You go straight, and then you end up also outside. So it's complete. Everything is looping. Super confusing. So then you go straight, and then you go up here, and then there's the rat, right? Don't forget, there's also a hole here. And if you fall in this hole, you will also end up down below. So make sure to jump over this as well. And then you'll find your way to kill the rat. So you kill the rat, it's a bit of a challenge, you know, whatever. And then you see this, and then you think, okay, if I go down here, I might die, right? So you can also decide to go down these holes, and then you'll basically also go down. But you can also actually slide down this, and then fall down here. But you know, you need to be here, right? So now you are in this is kind of like the cursed den, where there's like so many of these toad creatures that are going to try to, they don't look like toads at all, I know, but whatever. So, but they're going to try to curse you. So you can kill them pretty easily, but there's so many of them, so you have to be careful. And then there's just a maze of corridors and walls and things, and it's just, there's just stuff everywhere. You know, I was actually looping on this point for a while, so like I would go down here, and then I would be like, oh, I have to actually go down here, and then I would walk here, and I'm like, oh no, I can't. And by the way, there's a good item over here as well. But then you go here, and you go down back, and then you think, okay, maybe I should go up here, and then you walk here, and then you're like, okay, maybe I can go up this. And then you walk here, and then you fall in the hole, and then you're back here, and you're like, what? I was just here. You know, so everything loops back on in itself. And there's a corpse here with a humanity. So, you know, that's ideal. But you want to leave this place. This place is just looping in on itself. You want to leave this. So you want to find your way out of this hellhole. And as you do that, eventually you'll make your way above where you tried to skate down the waterfall and landed here. Eventually find your way up here. So again, to get there, we would have to go straight here, right, up. So it sounds super easy, but when you're actually here and there's enemies everywhere and doorways everywhere, it's super confusing. And now we are in the last part of the main hall. So the main hall is just filled with those oozes, the slime monsters. You know, there's rats, there's stuff, and then here is a big door, and this door is locked. This is the door that leads to Blighttown. So you know, there's also other ways to get to Blighttown, but this is the door that leads there. And in order to open that door, you have to kill the gaping dragon. So there's going to be a little stairway here. Take it up. And like I showed you at the beginning, you will end up on top of the 3rd floor. And you will see the arena, and you will know, okay, it's going to be quite interesting. So as you walk along this path, there is a few stairways you can take, and then eventually take this staircase, and then there's going to be a fog wall.
Huh? Oh my god. Oh, hell no. What the fuck, man?
Now, some interesting things about this whole arena, and in terms of just the way it is, I mean, this is so cool, right? So you can actually see this arena kind of from the outside when you're standing at Firelink Shrine, and this is obviously all just broken out. Down there is Blighttown, so you could argue that the creature's actually trying to climb up from Blighttown up. And there's just so much detail here. Sewage runoff, even more sewage coming from here. All the sewage is seeping into Blighttown because of this massive hole. Why this hole's here, no one knows, but it's here. Very hard to access. Gateways here, I bet for more sewage runoff, maybe. Everything just seeps down to Blighttown, even from this area here. And then there's a little door here, and interestingly there's also a little door here, but this doesn't go anywhere, unfortunately. Would be pretty cool if it did. But now you can see how extensive this maze is. It's probably 6 floors of just paths that are linked to one another, with holes falling in between each of these paths. Just an absolute nightmare to traverse and to remember, and such cool level design, and so much fun too to play, and for the first time. So this is the core of the depths, basically, where everything links to each other. So again, and then this is only the bottom, right? So there's this whole upper area where it's kind of like not really a sewer yet. It's more like some kind of runoff building. But then you will enter the sewer once you actually enter the depths proper. You will start entering the sewer, and again, here's the bonfire. So there's quite a lot of area to traverse, and then if you were to respawn here and make your way down, the easiest way to do that is to try to find your way as fast as possible here, jump here, and then eventually go here, straight, right, up, left, and then you find your way to the boss room right here. And again, the Gaping Dragon is not that difficult, but if you don't take out the channeler here, it will be much more difficult than it is. So yeah. So, and now we are in the Blighttown area. So this is actually in the Blighttown map. So it's quite interesting because we are technically still in the depths. Well, I guess no, technically we are not. Technically this is actually Blighttown. Now, Blighttown is for the next episode because, you go down here and then into the hot mess that is Blighttown. Probably even worse. Actually, I don't know if it's worse, but it's probably pretty bad. So yeah, that's where this part ends. But I still have some things that I want to talk about when it comes to the depths. So we've been over the map and the layout and how to get from point A to point B and point C and point D and then back to point B through a falling hole. The hole isn't falling, but you are. But let's take a look at the actual level design. So there's some interesting things going on here. Naturally, we are underground, but actually we're in a wall, right? And that's what's interesting here, because when you look from Firelink Shrine, you can actually see the depths. You can actually see that the depths is actually inside a wall, and then below the wall is Blighttown. So it's definitely the sewage runoff in lore fashion, if you want to take a look at it from lore perspective. But then when you look at the level design, it really wants to showcase the fact that you are going lower and lower into something horrible and decrepit, because the lower you get, the more horrible everything becomes. So this room, the one with the giant rat, the beginning of the main hall, what I was talking about with the waterfall down, is actually the perfect room to talk about when it comes to the depths level design, because what this room does is it is small, but it packs so many layers. First of all, you have the walkway that you come from. Look down, you see the rat, you see all these things, you see these corpses over here. But then as you continue down this path, it seems like it's hard to get everywhere, right? Because it's, you have all these railings, and then when you go down here, you enter this kind of maze area that eventually leads you down to the rat by some arbitrary route, what I showed you at the beginning of this video. But there's a much easier way to get here, and that is if you actually go up this chute and you go behind the first butcher there, or the butcher, if you will. There's also a chest containing a large ember, but if you destroy these crates and you go down here, you actually enter an area where there is a spider shield, and where you could actually just jump down and fight the rat immediately. This is a shortcut that is so unique because you skip so much of the level. If you kill this rat, you go down here, you speed run, you go here, you go right, up here, left, right, up here, down 2 stairs, and you're in the boss room. It can take you a few minutes max. This map is super complex in the way it's set up, but there's such an easy route through this whole thing, which it's just weird to think about that, how complex this map is, and then there is such an easy route. And then also just the way this looks. I mean, I've said it before, this place is disgusting, and that's so perfect for what the depths is trying to convey. This disease-ridden death corner, essentially. Nothing in here is alive. The only thing that is alive is the bacteria, and that's very, very well shown throughout this level design. There's so many little passages, so many little ways to get from point A to point B. I haven't even shown you this little route here where you can get behind these railings. There's so many cool things here, and that's really what I want to commend the level designers of the depths of, because it's just such an interesting level design and layout. So yeah, I mean, that's basically the best way to describe this little area. And to be honest, when I started making this video, I was kind of overwhelmed, because I thought this map, I knew it was complex, but when I was looking at it like this, I thought this was going to be a very difficult video to make. And it was quite a lot of editing, because a lot of things I had wrong. I assumed I knew, but I was just fully wrong. So it's quite a difficult level to go over. But I mean, once it's there, it's just awesome. There's only one thing I don't really understand from a lore perspective, and maybe someone who knows more about the lore than I do can explain to me. Why is this room so big? Why did I don't get it. It's a little out of place. Boss fight, duh, right? But for the lore, why is this such a large room? I mean, we're in a sewer. And we open up into this cathedral space, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because everything is walled as well, unless these are the outer walls of the castle, and we're just in the interior space. So if we're in between the space of the two outer walls, that would kind of make sense. Or maybe the idea was that this whole place will be filled with sewage, but then even that doesn't make a lot of sense because you get the stairs here. So it kind of confuses me a little bit why this room is here. It looks cool, and I get it for the the game mechanics, but in terms of the logic, I don't really understand it. But that's really the only thing I can say about the depths in terms of the way it's set out to be. I think it's probably one of the most recognizable and most memorable maps of Dark Souls Remastered, because it's this disgusting place. And the most interesting thing about the depths is, as a whole, is that you don't even have to be here. You can skip it completely. In my last playthrough, I didn't even play it. That's why you saw me killing the boss on my character, which I finished the game in, because I never got here. You can skip this level. You can go through a different route to Blighttown. You don't need to be here at all. But of course, you can find great items like, Dragon King Great Axe, I think, from the tail, and you can also find a normal Great Axe, Spider Shield, and a few rings. So it's a cool place to be in terms of the game's progression, but also I think in terms of game design, it's very, very, very cool, and I really enjoy it. But it wouldn't make top on my tier list. If I were to ever make one, this wouldn't be on the top because, well, the level design is cool, but it's not my most favorite place to be. If that makes sense. But definitely a cool area. So I guess that was this video. It wasn't that long. I did make some cuts here and there because I was quite a maze to get through. But I hope you guys enjoyed. In the next episode, we are going to do Blighttown naturally, and then I think after that we're going straight to probably the base inn. So, well, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed these videos. Thank you guys so much for the awesome comments in previous videos. Really appreciate it, and really motivates me to make more of these. So, yeah, subscribe for more, and hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.